That was a bit of a quick one, wasn't it? The Sontaran experiment. Consider this a bonus classic Doctor Who review. There will be another one later this month, but this thing's only 2 episodes long, and from the classic era at that. So yeah, we're gonna kind of bang this one out. This one follows on pretty directly from the last one I did, which was the arc in space. So we have the Fourth Doctor, we have Sarah Jane, we have Harry. And I'll start with the fact that their dynamic as a group is a little bit better, largely because they actually kind of separate Sarah from the other two, at least for a little bit, and let her be, clever, resourceful, able to be self-sufficient for a little bit. So it is nice that like they had a companion like get caught up in a trap and tumble down a ravine, and it was Harry. Oh, good, stay in that hole. Like a bunch of people commented on my review for the Ark in Space. They're like, he's supposed to be a bit out of touch and a bit abrasive. Like, okay, yeah, they did too good a job. I don't like him. Like, it's something that I always point out. When you make a character abrasive, irritating, or annoying on purpose, congratulations, you didn't do it by accident, but you still made an abrasive, annoying, or obnoxious character. So yeah, still not a huge fan of Harry. There is very much to talk about in this one, just how dang short it is. It's weird because you'd think I could still get some mileage out of this because at 2 episodes from the classic length, that is the length of a single episode of the modern era. You talk about those for freaking an hour at a go. How do you not have much to say about this? Well, because regardless of how long the total runtime is, it's still structured like classic Who, so it just feels weirdly abridged. You keep waiting for it to expand into something bigger, and it just never does. That's less a fault of the story in particular than just the nature of classic. Like I kept waiting for the and ha, but it never comes because they have to wrap it up in 2 episodes. That said, I do like me some classic era Sontarans. They don't look as good as they did as Lynx did in the Time Warrior. I don't know if it's lit worse. I don't know if the makeup is applied worse. I don't know if it's just more ill-fitting than what they did with the guy who played Lynx, but it just looks so much, the head looks so much more like a helmet than I remember it looking on Lynx. So they don't look terrific. That said, the performance, they got the voice down pat. They got that absolutely nailed, and I think this is where we started the tradition of Sontaran names beginning with ST. Lynx is always kind of the outlier on that. Ooh, and Sarah recognizes the Sontarans basically immediately, which she played that well. Another good moment for her. So what is actually going on is, oh boy. Story-wise, we have a largely abandoned future Earth. So this is the Earth that the people in the Ark in Space abandoned because they believed it was now completely uninhabitable. And there are some people here. The reasons are a little wonky, but there are some people here, trying to figure some out. And there's a Sontaran here, basically conducting experiments on the humans that he can find to figure out how resilient they are, be it physically, mentally, what they can stand up to, what their fear levels are, and stuff like that. Basically, the kind of stuff you would want for such a military-minded species as the Sontarans. This is all tactical data on a potential future enemy, depending on what they feel like doing. We do have, the Doctor drops the Rootins here. I think I can't remember if the Rootins ever got mentioned in the Time Warrior, so this might be the story that establishes that they have basically a never-ending war with another species. Because I can't remember if that came up in the Time Warrior or not. It might have. I don't know. We do see that round sort of egg-shaped looking spaceship, and I like that thing a lot. I like that. I like that quite a bit. But we've got some humans on here, and when the doctor inevitably gets captured by them, I just realized I normally put that on the scarf, and I forgot I already had it on the shirt, so I haven't been able to see it. Whatever. When they inevitably capture the doctor, he says, "Oh well, we're actually from a completely different time." But to make it real simple, we came here from what is it, the Neva, the Ark in Space location, and they're like, "That's BS. Like that thing was lost. That's nonsense." And he was like, "No, they just overslept." The reaction that these guys have is like, okay, well, they still abandoned this planet. They left everyone else to die. And yeah, it's not super unreasonable. They kind of did. So that there's still some abrasiveness and some, real pushback, which, you kind of need, because there is only one Sontaran on the planet. And if the doctor and companions just immediately were on the same side as the human figures, then it would be, well, here's like 7 people versus one Sontaran. No, instead, you have to have your heroes kind of torn between these these humans who do not trust them, and the Sontaran who is a danger to everybody. And yeah, it just kind of plugs along at that pace and in that way for a couple of episodes. Oh, it's pretty much all shot outside, like in these fields and these little ravines. It you kind of feel that not only was this like only a 2-episode story, you kind of feel the low budget on this, like it's all location. They didn't have to build hardly anything for this. It's almost entirely one location. The costuming for the other humans is real simple. As I said, the Sontarans don't even look as good as I remember Link's looking, so I think less money was spent on that. Or like maybe it's just the leftover pieces from the suit that they had for Link's back in Time Warrior. Maybe they just weren't well taken care of. That might be the issue. Technically, there's 2 Sontaran. Well, there's one Sontaran on the planet, and there's another one that he reports to. It's the same actor, just on a screen. I am positive of that. But it could just be a case of they didn't maintain the costume for the Sontarans, particularly. I stumble over that word sometimes. Particularly well. It's hard to know exactly where it is, but this looks and feels as cheap as it is. But at the same time, it was not as much of a painful experience for me to watch in terms of how Sarah was handled, both by the script and treated by the other characters. Like Harry's still kind of being a dick to her. Like not. It actually, you could almost argue it's gotten worse. Instead of before, it was like old girl, and she told him not to do that. Now he's calling her old thing. It's like, what the hell, man? What? Get your head out of your ass. But something about the fact that Sarah has at least a couple of chunks of time where she will eventually get captured by the Sontaran and need to be rescued. But she has a chunk of time where she's kind of on her own and self-sufficient. That was just nice to see. It was a counteractive to all the stuff that went on in Ark in Space that made it really hard for me with how she was handled as a character. And Tom Baker still doing his wild-eyed bohemian thing. Like, I have a feeling that when I eventually get around to watching the rest of the episodes from this season, my overall assessment is going to be it's probably an overrated season because the stories, at least the ones I've seen so far, are kind of fine. They're fine, but like, admittedly, he is great. Like, he is great right out the gate. He knows exactly how he wants to play this part, and I do really like how Tom Baker plays the Doctor. So I feel like a lot of the affection for both the previous story and for this season as a whole stems from just how good he was immediately, which some doctors needed more time to percolate. You could argue Colin Baker's Doctor didn't really settle into his part until Big Finish started working with him on audio adventures. And, Sylvester McCoy was settled in by his second season. Tom Baker, right out the gate, he was great. He knew exactly what he was doing. It was so distinct from what everybody else had done. And definitely can't take anything away from that, but this is just kind of a nothing of a story. But I don't even think that that's that big of a criticism, because like it is just a two-parter connective tissue thing. My understanding, and I could be wrong about this, my understanding is basically there was a notion initially to have the Ark in Space be 6 parts, but they made the decision like, this story won't stretch out to 6 parts very well, so we'll do kind of a 2-part quickie to get us to the next thing after this. And that's exactly what this feels like. It's a stopover adventure. And it kind of gets away with that on the basis that it is only 2 parts. Like, if they had tried to stretch this out to 4, it might have been interminable. But it's exactly what it needed to be to fill up the space. So, mission accomplished, I guess? Yeah. I'm not, before people take me out of context, I'm not necessarily saying that it's better than the Ark in Space. There's just way less to even be critical about in the first place, whereas Ark in Space had more stuff, more time, more story, more aspects for me to actually talk about what I did or didn't like. This is so bare bones and has such low ambitions. I don't know, almost feel kind of mean kicking it around, but it's fine. It's fine. Sontaran experiment. Using this one, what'd you think about it? Whatever your thoughts are, drop something down in the comments. Let's talk about it. Patreon pays the bills and enables me to do this as my living, even if you can't help me out that way. Like, share, subscribe. Those all help as well. Don't worry too much about it, though, because we take a relaxed attitude around here. You can just come on back next time you need a break. And now to thank my highest supporting patrons: Robin Moore, Jared Boyce, Zubin Lufula, Monty Kate 808, Mira G, Angry Casperl, Dave Hall, Movie Turtle, Oliver B, Sean Miller, Welsh Wrestling Geeks, Alyssa Pedersen, Mary Mello, Becky Sparks, Loki Eris, Tracy Scrabbit, Pau Barabajoggle, and Sir Didymus is my favorite, as well as Welsh Wrestling Geeks. So, folks said they wanted the rats back. Here they are. I really should have not worn something that exposed this much skin. Their nails are sharp. Ow. Oh, you guys. Get back here. Butthead.